Urgent, G-Men fan! Look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest Big Blue news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Giants working on significant first-round trade as NFL Draft nears New York has the number 3 pick in Thursday's first round, but may not be done. So far, no 2025 first-round picks have exchanged hands ahead of Thursday's NFL Draft. If the New York Giants have their way, that may change in the coming hours. The Giants, a team with plenty of holes to fill and incredible pressure on both general manager Joe Schoen and head coach Brian Daboll, currently hold the number 3 pick, with which they're widely expected to target Penn State pass rusher Abdul Carter. According to Deanna Rossini of The Athletic, New York wants to get back into the back end of the first round as teams attempt to jockey for position with less than 3 hours before the draft begins. The phone lines are getting busier as the first round nears, per sources. The Broncos and Texans are attempting to move up the draft order, while the Giants are trying to acquire a second first-round pick at the back end of the round. Diana Rossini, DM Rossini, April 24, 2025, the Giants officially brought the Daniel Jones era at quarterback to an end during the 2024 season, releasing the former first-rounder. The team has added a pair of veteran options, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, but neither is expected to be a long-term answer for the franchise. New York had been connected to Shedeur Sanders for months, but are not expected to consider the Colorado gunslinger at number 3. He is now most commonly connected to the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 21, but there is no guarantee that he is selected. In the first round at all, a franchise like the Giants, who may like Sanders but not enough to take him at the top of the draft, could be a prime candidate to jump back into the late first round and draft a quarterback. Ole Miss's Jackson Dart and Alabama's Jalen Milroe are among the other quarterbacks who could draw late first-round interest. Of course, New York has a host of other needs on top of pass rusher and quarterback, so a trade may not necessarily come with Sanders in mind, but it is hard to look past him as a prime Giants target if they find themselves back in the mix tonight. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Big Blue news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks! Now let's get back to the news. Commanders general manager reveals willingness to trade with Giants. The New York Giants may find a willing trade partner in the Washington Commanders during the NFL Draft. The New York Giants have found themselves in a predicament. With the number 3 pick, they seem poised to take Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter, one of the 2 best prospects in the class, and an excellent pass rusher destined to find success with Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence by his side. However, passing up on Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders will keep the team's long-term quarterback plans unfinished. That's the right choice given their consensus rankings and overall upside, but general managers can only survive so long without a franchise quarterback. As such, New York is linked to numerous trade opportunities, hoping to move up in round 1 to take Alabama's Jalen Milroe or Mississippi's Jackson Dart. Of course, it takes 2 parties to make a deal, and there's no guarantee. The most obvious candidates like what Joe Schoen has to offer. The Washington Commanders might, prompting the question of whether they'd be willing to give a rival a shot at a round 1 rookie quarterback. Commanders general manager Adam Peters recently revealed his willingness to trade with NFC East rivals. Like the Giants at his pre-draft press conference. You think about that, but I think it's like a lot of things case by case, Peters said. What is the trade? What is the best move for your team? I don't personally believe in being scared about trading with a team within your division. If you think the trade is good value for you and you can get some good picks to help your team get better, then definitely consider it. Some cases it won't be. Some cases it will be that we don't want to do that for whatever reason. But I don't think we'll ever shy away from that, taking those calls. A lot of times you'll have a lot of trades kind of lined up. In that particular instance, the Eagles trade was by far the best trade in terms of value that we got, so we made that trade. Last season, Washington received a handful of picks from Philadelphia for the rights to draft cornerback Cooper DeJean. The Commanders eventually used their day 2 picks from that deal to draft corner Mike Sainristil and tight end Ben Sinnott, a reasonable swap in hindsight. New York doesn't pose the threat that Philadelphia does, and Peters is willing to keep the door open for Schoen in the event the right deal comes to fruition. Whether or not there's a premium on in-division trades is yet to be seen, but Washington cannot be ruled out of the Giants' plans on draft night. Giants trade Thibodeau, land their QB, and crush every pick in final mock draft. Brian Daboll gets everything he needs to succeed. The New York Giants head into the 2025 NFL Draft with options and pressure. Sitting at number 3 overall, Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll face a franchise-defining decision in a draft that could reshape the roster or derail it. With job security in question and a fan base desperate for direction, there's no room for error. Cam Ward is expected to go first to Tennessee, and Travis Hunter seems bound for Cleveland at number 2. That leaves the Giants staring down Abdul Carter, the most explosive defender in the class, or pivoting to a quarterback like Shedder Sanders. Or Jackson Dart. They could also trade back, but do they have the time or trust to wait? This mock leans aggressive but calculated. It delivers a franchise pass rusher, a developmental QB, and a post-draft roster that's deeper, faster, and built to compete now with or without Kayvon Thibodeau. Giants final 2025 NFL Mock Draft Round 1, Pick 3 Abdul Carter, OLB Penn State there. So many options with this pick. The Giants could trade back, trade up, select best player available, or draft for need. Here they draft best player available while also addressing a sneaky need. Abdul Carter is the pick here. He teams up with Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence to form one of the most daunting front sevens in the league. His explosiveness, motor, and natural edge-bending talent give him Micah Parsons-light potential. He's not just the best player on the board, he fits exactly what Wink Martindale or Shane Bowen want to build defensively. Round 2, pick 34, Jalen Milroe, QB Alabama. After signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston in free agency, New York opts to land its future signal caller in the first round and grabs Jalen Milroe in the early second. Milroe has elite tools arm strength, toughness, mobility, and flashed high-end upside when Alabama let him cook. He's far from polished, but he won't need to start right away in this QB room. The hope? He learns behind vets and eventually blossoms into the dual-threat playmaker Daboll thought he had in Daniel Jones. We have a trade to announce. New York Giants receive 43rd overall pick, 147th overall pick. San Francisco 49ers receive 99th overall pick, Kayvon Thibodeau, D round 2. Pick 43, Darius Alexander, DT Toledo acquired from 49ers in trade. In a not-so-surprising move, the G-men swing a trade for 2 2025 picks. They send Kayvon Thibodeau away after selecting Carter on day 1, along with their 99th overall pick. They pick up San Francisco's second-rounder and grab an interior lineman after addressing best player available and future quarterback. Alexander brings length, violent hands, and legit pass rush acumen from the interior. Has not just a space eater, has a pressure generator who can rotate in with Dexter Lawrence and give the Giants a disruptive presence up the middle. Round 3, pick 65, Tate Ratledge, IOL Georgia John Runyon, and Greg Van Roten are Big Blues starting. Guards, they need to be a bit more forward-thinking. Enter Georgia's interior mauler, Tate Ratledge. Has tough, technically sound, and has the kind of sand-in-his-pants anchor you need in a pocket-protecting scheme. He could realistically push for a starting job by midseason and projects as a long-term answer at guard. Round 4, pick 105, Cam Scatterbo, RB Arizona State Tyrone Tracy Jr. did an admirable job filling in for Saquon Barkley last season, but it wasn't enough. It would be unfair to assume a 5th-round rookie could fill Barkley's shoes, so maybe a 4th-rounder could. Scatterbo is a bowling ball with legs. He has elite contact balance, enough juice to churn out YAC, and bring serious third-down value. As a pass catcher, you don't replace Barkley's home run speed, but you can recreate his impact by committee. Scatterbo helps you get there. Round 5, pick 147, Smail Mondon Jr., LB Georgia acquired from 49ers in trade. The second of the picks acquired in the Thibodeau trade, the G-men snag a promising yet under-the-radar linebacker in Smail Mondon Jr. His processing speed hasn't caught up with his play speed, which hell need to work on. But if he does, he could be a major steal at this position, and could eventually be Bobby Okerek's future replacement. Mondon is a freaky athlete with 3-down upside. If the coaching staff can get him diagnosing quicker, this pick could pay off in a big way down the road. Round 5, pick 154, Chase Lunt, OT UConn Andrew Thomas can't stay healthy. Evan Neal's future looks more bleak by the snap. Signing Stone Forsythe and James Hudson helps, but they aren't starters or the future. UConn's Chase Lunt isn't starting caliber now, but he could eventually be. He has the reps, 3,000 of them, strength and IQ to be a swing tackle now with the long-term potential to bump inside. The traits are there, he just needs time and the right development plan. Round 7, pick 219 Jake Majors, see Texas pass protection. Pass protection. Pass protection. In the 7th round, the Giants address the interior line again, but this time with one of the best pass protectors of the draft in Jake Majors. He's undersized, sure, but smart as heck and consistent in both his sets and calls. Majors gives the Giants a reliable developmental center to stash behind John Michael Schmitzor, someone who could sneak his way into a backup role quickly. Round 7, pick 246 Caden Prather, WR Maryland Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, Wandale Robinson. Those three are actually a better trio than many would suggest, but none of them eclipse 6'1". The Giants could use a bigger X-bodied receiver. Luckily, Caden Prather from Maryland falls right into their lap at the last second. He's not polished, but he's long, fast, and can stretch the field.
The drop issues are real, but the frame and vertical ability give the Giants a different flavor in the receiver room and someone who could develop into a matchup problem. This mock doesn't just fill needs, it shifts the identity of the Giants. They walk away with token talent, long-term upside, and clarity at quarterback. It's aggressive, sure. But after 2 years of middling results and hot seat talk, aggressive is exactly what New York needs. And now, G-Men fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Big Blue. I'll be back any moment with more Big Blue news. Jets, 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 Jets. Let's go, Giants.